a loss expressed by figure skating legends Dorothy Hamill and Scott Hamilton.
These youngsters were in their teens, and they're the future. They were the ones that are supposed to be, the next national Olympic champions.
To think that they're gone is, I can't wrap my head around the last 36 hours. It's just been devastating, and the loss is just beyond description, and my heart is shattered.
Joining us now, Olympic ice dancers Melissa Gregory and Denis Patukov. They knew three of the crash victims, the skating coaches, Vadim Naumov, Evgenia Shishkova, and Alexander Kirsanov. First of all, I'm very sorry for your loss, and I thank you for being with us. Melissa, you just heard what Scott had to say. He can't wrap his head around this. How do you even begin to try?
I don't think that there's a way that we can, wrap our head around it. We all are shook by this. I know we are ourselves too. We were also in Wichita last week and flew home less than a week before. So for us, we keep thinking it could have been any of us on that flight. We were there with our children and with our skaters. And just to think about the tragedy that happened to those children and coaches and parents and just everybody involved is just, it's chilling and it's scary. And I think we're deeply saddened. The whole community is going to feel this for a long time.
And Denis, I know you knew Vadim and Evgenia for almost 30 years. I think you and Alexander have been friends since you were teenagers. I don't want them to be just a name. I want people to understand what is lost. So what can you tell us about the people you know or knew?
Well, first of all, I wanted to tell everyone how good of a people they were. They were not only friends, we started as we were teens, doing development camps together, and that's how we grew. Our friendship grew together through the sport of figure skating. We have participated in numerous and many international and national events as skaters, as coaches, and we have seen each other on a regular basis throughout these events. And as athletes, they were incredible athletes, very inspiring athletes. They are accomplished and absolutely amazing coaches. We were lucky that we have shared with them ice rink here in Connecticut, Ice Times, and we have helped them with some of their students, and they helped us in numerous events. So we were not only friends and colleagues, I think we were a little bit more than that, given knowing each other for almost 30 years. I have to say that they were very special people and competitors because they were always positive. They were resilient almost to anything and anyone. They were always a role model. So we always say with Melissa that they were not only champions in skating, they were champions in life. And we feel very strongly about that. Once we heard the news, it's just kind of beyond what we can describe. It's very difficult to put words into how we feel about this loss. And obviously thinking a lot about the young skaters and parents that were on that plane. They were from 11 years old and older, and just looking the feeds on social media and news that is circulating is really heartbreaking, because to watch and just process those feelings are very difficult.
And Melissa, I think Denis touches on something that anybody who's been around the skating world understands. There is a bond in skating. Part of it is being an elite or an aspiring elite athlete, and you often spend more time with the people you're at the rink with your coaches, than you do with your own family. In some cases, once you reach a certain level, you're traveling the world, or at least traveling the country, taking part in these competitions, and you're with people who understand what it is that you do. So when people around the skating community say things like, we are a community, this is just not a sport, this is a family, talk about that, Melissa.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even really say that we're just a community. I think that we're a family. We have so many experiences, and we have all the same goals in life. I mean, we're just around each other, as you said, so much, and we share so many experiences that it's just such a close bond. And we have the same values, a lot of us, and it really brings us all close together. And even though we are all competitive with each other and everybody wants to do the best, everybody has a respect for each other, and everybody cares about each other deeply. And when something like this hits the community and the family of skating, I think not just here, but all over the world, we all feel it, and we all are hurting from it. And it's going to take time to grieve. And we the more that we can talk about these individuals and how special they were, I think the more it will help all of us to move on. But they're definitely going to be remembered forever.
The New York Times, Dennis, profiled Corey Hanos. He's one of the young skaters who on the morning of the crash had landed his triple axel in front of the development camp coaches who were there, of course, to scout future champions. He died along with his parents. But on social media, he references a Bible verse. It says that people who believe in Jesus will have eternal life. So he was obviously a young man of some deep faith. And I think when something terrible happens, we all look for reasons. You want to find that there is some purpose to what happens. But do you think you can find any understanding how something so awful like this could happen, or some comfort somehow in knowing the way they live their lives?
Well, this is a very difficult question because everybody's spiritual and faiths are so different, and trying to find reasons and ask questions why and how that could be. I think it's all going through all of our minds, and at this point, I don't think anybody has clear answers of why and why did that happen. So I don't know. I honestly don't know yet. I don't know, maybe Melissa would have more thoughts on that. But I know that the moment that he landed this triple axel, I know that this is the example how the community pushes the limits of the sports and supports everyone to do better and to thrive and achieve excellence in what you do. And through that, I think everyone can find some kind of a spiritual peace in their mind.
Melissa, we're out of time, but I do want to give you a chance to speak to that because Dennis makes such a great point, that in the last moments of his life, which he obviously did not know were the last moments of his life, the joy and the accomplishment of what he did in that moment of landing a triple axel at a moment of intense pressure is one way for him to be remembered, I think. What do you think?
I think that he was working his entire life towards something, and that kind of an accomplishment to land a triple axel is not a small feat. It's a huge accomplishment, and I think it speaks for how hard he works, how much discipline he has, and what kind of a individual he is, because he worked day and night in order to be able to land that triple axel and to do it, as you said, under pressure in front of an entire development camp that's even more. So he was just an extraordinary individual and a bright, shining young star that was just unfortunately lost too soon, that never was allowed to reach his maximum potential.
Well, Melissa and Dennis, it is very kind of you at what I know is a very difficult time for you personally to be on the show and to pay tribute to the folks you know. So I thank you for that.